Hello, Mill Elementary School. I'm Dan Tricarico, and I'm the author of a book called The Zen Teacher, and I spoke to you at the beginning of this year. Well, I just hope that you've had an awesome 2017-2018 school year so far, and I am just so honored that your principal has asked me to come and speak with you again. And today I just wanted to share two ideas with you that have been on the forefront of my mind and have really influenced me this year, and I thought I would pass it along because I think that they would be great ideas in terms of helping you get through the year, improve your self-care, help your teaching practice, all of the things that are going to make us have a good experience for the rest of the semester and the rest of the school year. So there are two ideas I want to share with you. First of all, I'm an English teacher. I'm not really a math guy, but I came up with an equation that I want to share with you because I think it's been really helpful in terms of some of the ideas I've been thinking about lately. And you can see it right over my shoulder. I hope you can see it anyway. And the equation is TS plus T equals NH. TS plus T equals NH. And what that stands for is tiny shifts plus time equals new habits. Tiny shifts plus time equals new habits. And how that works, how you can implement this is, it's the beginning of the year. It's January right now. Everybody's thinking about New Year's resolutions, and I'm just going to tell you flat out, I don't do your New Year's resolutions. My feeling is, why can't we start fresh any day? Why can't we say it's March 5th? I'm going to be a new person right now and do this thing and change my life right now. Why can't we do it in June? Why can't we do it in August? Why can't we do it in November, right? Any day can be a fresh day and a fresh start. Now, I know that at the beginning of the year in January, it's really easy to think, hey, clean slate, fresh start, but really any day of the year, you can change your life if you choose. But what happens is people don't really meet these New Year's resolutions because they bite off more than they can chew. They have these giant goals when really what's really going to make the difference is tiny shifts, okay? Little changes plus time, but you have to do them consistently, and that's what's going to give you those new habits. So if you're thinking about your self-care practice, if you're thinking about your teaching practice, if you're thinking about your relationships, any area of your life, I think this equation can really help. That if you make just tiny little changes, one little thing or two little things that aren't daunting, aren't overwhelming, but that you can commit to over time, think about how much closer you're going to be to that big goal that you have a month, 2 months, 6 months down the line. If every day you're taking that tiny shift and practicing it and practicing it and practicing it and implementing and creating that new habit, how close will you be 6 months from now? So that's the first thought I want to share with you. The second thought I want to share with you is a question that came from a book called Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss, which was an absolutely amazing book. And he interviewed Olympic athletes and celebrities and CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. And I read it cover to cover. And I always tell my students, I annotate everything I read. Even if I'm reading for pleasure, I'm marking it up because that's how I interact with the text and that's how I learn. And when I read this, I can't remember who said it, but when I read this one question that this person that Tim Ferriss had interviewed, when I read what he said, in the margin I wrote, "This is the best question ever." And I came in and I made it a lesson on one of our shorter days for my students because I thought it was something that would really help them, and I'm hoping it's something that will really help you too. And the question is, what could I do in this exact moment to get better? What could I do in this exact moment to get better? And I told them, what do you think my favorite part of that question is? What part do I think is the most important? And they got it. It's in this exact moment. Because how many exact moments are there in a full day? There's a flippity bajillion, right? So at any given moment, you can take a step toward what you want to do, whether it's more self-care, whether it's a goal you have, whether it's a relationship issue, whether it's a teaching practice thing. If you ask yourself that question, I said to my students, how different would your life be? I made them write about it. And I said, if you ask that question now, and then you ask that question when you get home, and you ask that question right before you go to bed, that's only 3 times. But if you asked that question, came up with an answer, and implemented that answer, and did that every day, only 3 times a day, only 1 time a day, how different would your life be in 6 months? How much more would you have accomplished? Okay, whatever that may be. But I think since our message here is about self-care, these two ideas about the tiny shifts and what can you do in this exact moment is really pertinent. Let's say in this exact moment you're feeling stressed. What could I do in this exact moment to get better? I could listen to a soothing song. I could breathe. I could meditate. I could say a prayer. There's all kinds of things you could do in this exact moment to get better, whatever that means to you. So the equation is tiny shifts plus time equals new habits. And the question is, what could I do in this exact moment to get better? I hope that helps you. I hope that serves you. If anybody has any questions, you can find me on Twitter. You can email me. You can join the closed Facebook group. I'm happy to help, and I hope you have an excellent year, and take care.